We have a super powerful guest for you with us today, Aileen Arreaza of Parents Together. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm even more excited. So, Parents Together is the best ever organizational name. And I want to talk about all the parents. I want to talk about the moms, the dads. I want to talk about the parents. I want to talk about the Father's Day, which is coming up. And
That's
to
right.
start us off, what is Parents Together?
So, Parents Together is an impact media organization that reaches lots of parents with content that they love, and then also uses that content to help parents understand what's happening in this country and gives them opportunity to take action on the issues that matter to families.
Love and Moms Rising loves Parents Together. In case anybody's wondering, we are
And
in
we
the
love
Parents
Moms
Together.
Rising.
We are in the Parents Together fan club. Yes, we are.
Yes,
And
we
so,
partner on a lot
parents,
of work.
as Moms Rising, we don't get to talk about dads as often as we might want, but you, as parents, get to talk about moms and dads and parents. And in that whole universe of parenting, right now we have a big holiday coming up, Father's Day. What's happening at Parents Together for Father's Day?
So we launched a Dads Initiative this year at Parents Together, and we're really excited. The whole idea of this initiative is to reach dads with content that they love and then infuse that content with messages that kind of help them stand up for their families and become better versions of themselves. So Father's Day is this Sunday, and we launched a show and a internet show for dads this week. It's called Reset Mode, and it is a men's style show. So it's like
Ooh,
a show for dads who want to be more stylish, but then also it helps them kind of understand what's happening. Why are clothes so expensive? How to deal with inflation? How to stand up for your kids and your family better. It's going to be a little bit of mix of culture and narrative, and we're really excited about it. But we are just excited about dads in general because I think dads are sometimes forgotten when we talk about parents. Like, moms are usually the center of the parenting world for good reason. Moms are the ones that are doing a lot of the work and the ones that are usually seeking out parenting information. But I think there's like a bunch of dads that are doing that too. And we have to reach them a little bit different than the way we talk to moms, and we have to talk to them a little bit different. But we did a bunch of research on dads and found that being a dad is such an important part of who they are. And so it's really important to connect with them on that level.
there is a lot going on with dads. Thankfully, thank you, dads. We love you, dads. Thank you for dadding. And what are the top changes that you've seen in the dad universe recently? I've seen some studies recently that are pretty compelling.
Yeah, so dads are more active than ever. They're doing more caretaking than ever. They are really leaning into like being present in their kids' lives. The research that we did was super interesting. So we interviewed 1,300 dads, and there was an open-ended question that asked, like, I am blank, describe yourself. And
Ooh.
the number one answer was a man, but the number two answer was a dad. Like for dads, being a dad is like such a big part of their identity and they want to be seen as dads. But the second thing that I thought was really interesting from that research is that we asked like a forced choice question of dads in that research, and it was like, would you rather be seen as a caring and nurturing provider or as a strong independent provider? And
Mm.
2 to 1, dad said, I want to be seen as strong and independent. And that doesn't mean like that they don't love and care for their kids, but like love and care shows up different for dads. It's like protection and taking care of them in a different way. And so I'm really interested in figuring out ways to connect to dads on that level of protection and kind of like redefining what masculinity is. Because like right now, there's this very toxic masculinity. There's a manosphere. There's a bunch of stuff that's pulling men
Like
towards like
cage
and
fighting on the White House lawn.
exactly, exactly. That's pulling men towards like anti-democratic values and I think that real masculinity is about protecting and caring for other people. It's Alex Preddy standing up for that woman in Minnesota, you know? It's standing up against bullying, you know? It's that kind of that's what real men do. And so we're with our dad's initiative, we're really working to kind of redefine masculinity, not make it feel and it could be strong. Strength doesn't mean toxic. Strength can be
Hmm.
good. So we're really excited
Yeah.
about that work.
Strong and independent. I love that. I'm going to think about that a lot. I mean, I had this odd image of like using babies to do like weightlifting.
That's super cute.
We should have like notice to all dads. I have never built my arm muscles faster than when both my kids were young and I had to carry them both around for a very long time.
In the stroller, in the baby carrier. There
Yeah.
was I saw this this news story about a gym in New York that is like teaching men to safely carry strollers in the subway, like up and
Oh,
down subway stairs. It's super cool.
nice.
So that they
Nice.
can like be just like more helpful to moms who are pushing strollers in
I
busy
mean,
New York City. So
I would want to take that too. That would be a good class to take, stroller carrying class. That is fantastic. So when you were talking about the introduction, we were talking about what is Parents Together. You said you're a multimodal media company, and I have so many questions. A, again, I am in your fan club, but B, how can people watch what you're producing? You're producing a lot of content on a lot of different streams, and it is awesome. You're going to want to check it out.
For sure. So you should follow us on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube at Parents Together. We also are part owner of a company called Motherly, who creates a lot of wonderful content for parents. So you can follow us there. And then the Dads Initiative is making content at the Dads Initiative on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. But also Reset Mode is a show that we just launched on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So all of those channels are places where you can find our content. Most of our content right now lives at Parents Together. So that's the place where you'll get like the biggest breadth of information about how to navigate parenting today.
I love it. Okay, you all have to go to Parents Together. Go to everywhere Parents Together. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the places. And when we're talking about Parents Together, why is it important to be organizing parents and getting them information, especially right now at this moment in our nation's interesting history?
Yeah, it's harder than ever to raise kids in this country right now, from like the cost of living to inflation to um, access to healthcare to the way that big tech is impacting our kids. It's just hard, and we hear it from parents all the time that they're feeling really, really challenged. And at the same time, I'm just convinced that parents can be such an incredibly powerful force for change, and that the love that we have for our kids, if channeled the right way, can absolutely change our country and make it work better for families. So I think that parents are we have an opportunity to make our country better for our kids. We want like nothing is more powerful than the love a parent has for their kid. And now more than ever, we need to be making that change. You know, our kids are really struggling, and that change is possible. Like one of the biggest things that give me hope that's happened this year has been what's been going on with online safety and tech accountability. There was a huge trial in LA where Facebook and Google were held responsible for creating platforms that addict our kids. A jury said to them, "You did this to our kids. You made these products addictive, and because of what you're doing, you are harming our kids, and now they have to pay for that." And that was only possible because so many parents have been speaking out against that. And some parents of part of the Parents Together community were there and were speaking out. And it's just like more and more parents are waking up to realize first of all, this is not our fault that our kids are addicted to these phones. Like, yes, we might have gotten them a phone, but like these things are designed to make them feel this way. And second of all, we can do something about it. We can make our voices heard, and we can make these companies pay for this and hold them accountable. And it's been so amazing to watch that actually happen
I'm
this
so
year.
glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you about it. So now I have follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Screen time, social
Yes.
media, and AI are
Yes.
all rising in the daily lives of children and parents is a controversial issue. And do you have advice for parents? What's happening? First, we have to kind of explain what's happening. And I love that you said it's not parents' problem. This is it's their problem, but it's not parents are not the cause of a problem. The cause
Right.
is the technology. So, what's happening and what are the solutions?
Right. So what's happening is that these tech companies have unlimited funds and unlimited power, and they can do whatever they want. They're unregulated, and they're these giant kind of Goliaths who are just more concerned with making money than anything else and using our kids as an experiment to try to line their pockets. Um, and they've sold us a story that the reason that this is happening is because we don't have the right parental control set up, or because we got our kid a phone when they were too young, or because whatever. None of that is true. These companies are designing these products to make our kids addicted to them on purpose. And also not just addicted, but also um uh they're taking them down these like dangerous pipelines, right?
Yeah.
Extremist pipelines that are making kids, whether it's um like an alt-right pipeline that's making kids more xenophobic or racist, or pipelines that make kids um develop eating disorders, or that make kids have like big mental health challenges. So and it starts with innocuous content, right? It's like, here's a healthy recipe, and then you end up on on a content that's telling you how to eat less than 1,000 calories a day, right?
Right.
Um, so that's what's happening. And at the same time, we have seen a real transformation in how parents are recognizing this. Like 5 years ago, when Parents Together started working on, and there's a lot of groups working on this issue in the country, so it's not just us, but when we started working on this, polling was saying that like tech companies had pretty high approval ratings in the 80s. Tech CEOs had high approval ratings, and now all of that has tanked. And I think there's a lot of work that's been done to shift the narrative about what these tech companies are doing, and to change it from it's your fault as a parent, or you were responsible for this, to no, big tech needs to be held accountable. And these companies are doing the same thing that tobacco was doing to our kids in the 70s and 80s, right? And so much of this, what's happening with tech is similar to secondhand smoke. Like, even if you don't get your kid a phone, all their friends have phones, they're seeing stuff on other people's phones. So, so I think people are starting to wake up. And now with AI, which is kind of like the new frontier, parents already have this sense of just being more careful about how they are allowing their kids to use this, and also understanding that these companies are out to get them. So, yeah.
It's a big area. I'm so glad that you and Parents Together are covering it and are going to keep covering it, because this is an ongoing battle, really. And so thank you so much. And when I say thank you, I also have a question.
Yes.
How can every single person who's listening in our audience support and be a part of Parents Together?
Yeah, so there's a lot of ways to do that. You can go to parentstogether.org, and you can sign up for our newsletter there and get weekly updates about what we're up to and useful information for families. You can follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, follow us on YouTube. We're at Parents Together. Um, I think those are the best ways to get in touch with us. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being on. Thanks for all you do. We are in your fan club today and always. Aileen with Parents Together. Woo! Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Kristen. It's so good to be with you.